Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Robert and this is one of my builds. As the title says, in this episode I'm gonna build a bunch of homes and a couple of harbors. I didn't really want to title this like Port Phase 2 or whatever, because I'm just planting down some harbors and yeah, it's not really like a big expansion of the harbor. I'm planning to do some of that in the future, but I'm planning on a lot of things. Yeah, so here I'm using the canal or the canal add-on mod to yeah, build a bit of a pathway over there. And what the canal add-on mod is it's like it basically simulates the water traffic by using the bus network, and yeah, it allows you to connect through these canals for passenger travel. So well, yeah, for food travel, I guess is what you call it. And yeah, I'm just gonna be building a bit of canal over here. I didn't notice those sparkles in the water before. I don't know if that's something that... I guess I didn't notice it because the network pieces that I used a bunch didn't have them. Because if you look at the viaducts that I'm using over there, or the rail bridges, I guess is what they're called, they don't really have the sparkles. But the road bridges do, so... And maybe they do have sparkles. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? So I'm just building a bit of a canal here, and I have these paths next to the rail because I used that rail viaduct. I ended up fixing the other one, so I could have just removed... Yeah, I think I'll do that at some point, maybe. That I'll just remove these. Well, I think the build that I'm doing here is gonna look pretty nice, so maybe I'll just keep it as is. But I might remove those and plant the ones that don't have the paths next to them. I'm not sure. I think the paths look unrealistic. It looks super dangerous to be crossing a rail line like that. But yeah, I don't know. So here I'm decorating this bit, and yeah, I cut out a bunch of menu scrolling there because it took me a lot longer to find those pieces. But I think these fountains look pretty nice. I guess the watercolor is a bit off, and I decided to put a statue there. Over here I wanted, because I haven't built a single home yet, but I'm kind of planning for this to be a bit more dense, hopefully at some point. I'm not sure if it's really gonna be very dense. Yeah, for those of you who might want to know how to build a smooth curve like that, I showed it, but I guess it was a bit fast, so you might want to go back a bit, I guess. I don't know. You could also... Because I learned that curve by looking at Haljackey's video. He did like it's not super old, it's actually quite recent in terms of SimCity. Yeah, it's SimCity reasons, that's recent, let's say it like that. So what he does is, he's not really a modder, he doesn't work on the network add-on mod, but he's like a community showcase kind of guy, where he gets, I guess, some instructions on how the new parts of the network add-on mod work, and then he just gets building. He has a lot of Reddit posts where he shows off his insane intersection work on the... Yeah, he builds a lot with the network... No, it's not network widening mod, it's the real highway mod. which is a pretty complicated package to be working with. And yeah, he just makes the smoothest and the smallest, the tightest intersections. So yeah, if you want to learn how to do those kind of things, he also did a couple of videos with RobsRedHotSpot a little while ago. So I think he did one at least, maybe he did two, I'm not sure. But that's also pretty informative video, and he does have a YouTube channel of his own, so you could check that out as well if you're looking to learn these complicated parts of the network add-on mod. I think it's kind of nice that yeah, he does really sound passionate about the game, so I think it's very nice that he got to show off his skills like that. And I think he also provides like feedback on the things, and I guess he does some testing on the parts of the network add-on mod, but I don't know all the things. I think he said so in the video, but my memory is not the greatest, even though I'm not really that old yet. My memory never really has been super good, but it's kind of weird because I don't know, it's not really like my memory is bad, it's just that if it doesn't seem important to me, I just don't take the effort to remember sometimes. I don't know, because I do have a pretty good memory in some things, but I think my memory is the worst right after the weekend. I tend to not be super good at remembering stuff I did before the weekend, after the weekend, and that doesn't have to do with me drinking too much or anything, because I barely drink at all. Yeah, I think it's just that I completely reset my mind when I relax during the weekend. When I play games like this, I just... it's not really a reset. I just relax to such a degree that yeah, I just don't think about work at all when I'm at home. I think that's the nice thing about the type of job that I have, I guess. But I would like a job with some more personal responsibility at some point. We'll figure that out in the future. Yeah, that's a pretty random conversation I'm having with myself here. Yeah, so what did I do here? I used a puzzle piece, this puzzle piece, which I thought was like a harbor piece for this mod, but yeah, the harbor piece is in the harbor menu. I think that makes sense, but with all the other pieces not being in the harbor menu, yeah, as you can see here, there's some people using it already. With all the buttons not being in the harbor menu, it seems a bit counterintuitive. And I think the miscellaneous menu is already cluttered enough, even if you don't have all these mods installed that I do have installed. So maybe it would have been better to put the whole canal stuff in the harbor menu. But yeah, then you can also say, yeah, I just downloaded like a ton of harbor mods, and now my harbor mod is and my harbor menu is equally cluttered. So yeah. Alright, here I built this rail station, but it does need some road connection in order for yeah, I just thought the rail station would look kind of cool with the viaduct over there. I'm not sure, I think the viaduct might be glitching through it a bit, yeah, I'm not sure. And I decided to use a bit of an underpass here. This is one of the older underpasses, so I can't use subway tunnels to connect it, I have to use these puzzle pieces. And yeah, the real one is somehow not retextured with the mod that I installed for the retexturing of the rails. And I suppose that must be because they use like a script with a program that replaces textures, and I guess the script didn't include the puzzle pieces for the flexible underpass stuff. Alright, now it's time to build a harbor, and I think this one looks it fits pretty nicely, and I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm gonna build it right there, and I'm saying "and" a lot. I think that's bad when you're speaking in public, but I don't know. I guess I should just stop trying to be talking all the time and just let my mind think of useful things to say. I don't know. Yeah, I also say a lot, I guess. I'm not really a big public speaker, though I did learn how to do it, especially when I went to, I guess you could call it university, but it's like, it's not really college. I guess it's, I don't know what the English word would be for it. I guess it's where you get your bachelor's. So yeah, but in the Netherlands you can get your bachelor's at the university or at the, I guess you could call it a college, I don't know. It's just a bit faster at the university because they don't take as much time for practical learning. I don't know how you'd call that, but for when you go to like a business or something and you learn your craft at the business. For instance, I was studying civil engineering, so I ended up working at a construction firm at one point to learn more about the actual process of building a building, and in this case it was like a home for kids that had anger issues, I think. Yeah, that was pretty... I think I also learned a lot about myself when I did those. And the other one that I did was like half a year at an architecture firm, where I basically just did a lot of drawing of buildings, and this architecture firm was specialized in not really upgrading but expanding homes. And I don't know, I think to a certain degree I did learn a lot about the older construction techniques, because it was in a city that had like a lot of pretty old homes from like the 30s and whatnot. But oh yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about. Sorry for breaking through my story here. Right now you can see my industry demand is pretty positive, but after bulldozing this, I think I cut this a bit weird, but yeah, now you can see it go down. So I think there's like a bug. I don't think it's especially just this building, but it might just be the general way the game handles demand. But yeah, it bugged out for me. For some reason it now thinks that I have full capacity on all the industries. And I ended up fixing it by just building a bit more cap relief for the others. And what cap relief on cap is, so your cities have a certain capacity for residential, industry and commercial offices. I think the commercial services tend to ignore that, and I believe low wealth residential also kind of tends to it. I'm not sure about that one, so I won't really say it. Yeah, that's a pretty nice harbor. So yeah, how cap works is whenever you build like or grow a building, let's say it's a home, it adds to a counter and that is the capacity you have. And once it reaches the number that stands for the capacity you can have, it stops you from it stops your demand from actually increasing your RCI graph, or your, so you could still have like a desire for more residences in your city, but it wouldn't be translated into more people being able to move in. And I think the idea behind that is because the city just doesn't have the services to service all these people. And the main way for residential that you fix that is by building more parks. I think there's also some rewards and stuff that do some cap relief for residential. And for commercial, I think the main way of doing it is also parks, but then the plaza kind of parks. There's like websites where you can figure out which one does exactly what. But actually, yeah, so the main function of parks isn't the park value effect that they have, it's just that it increases the capacity of your city. So if you have like a city and you can't get your graph to go positive, and you might want to install the what's it called, the census depository stuff, city census kind of stuff. I'm not sure what it's called, but you might want to install one of those. I have a custom one. Well, I just downloaded one and then I copied over the exemplar that lets it work the way it does. What it does is it takes like it looks at the currently loaded city and it reports back some data. So some of the data is what your neutral tax rate is, which means at which tax rate you don't positively or negatively influence your growth. Some other data is the amount of people you have, the amount of jobs you have, and of which wealth class. So it just gives a bunch of information about your city that you can use to diagnose in times of in times of having issues with the city. If you can't figure out why your stuff won't grow, you can use that. And it also shows the caps, and it does that in a percentage. So when it's at 100%, it means you've reached your full capacity in the city and you need to expand it by building cap relief buildings. That was a bit of a story. So yeah, the game now thinks that I have so much industry that my city just can't take care of more industry. And I think what happened is I built a building that has a lot of cap relief, and I think it's in order to save memory, I guess the game somehow handles that thing a bit weird, and now it destroyed it and it went under a threshold, I guess, and now it thinks, I don't know how to explain it. I think I have a vague idea in my head of what happened, but I can't really look into the memory of the game. I guess you could do some experimenting with like looking at the cap before and after bulldozing stuff, but then you're still looking at percentages, which are a pretty vague way of describing what you're looking at. So I'm not sure. I don't know if this is a good voiceover, but I think it will be alright. I'm not really gonna... I did one yesterday, but I forgot to click the record thingy, because there's like, you can start a recording, but you first have to activate, that's just in the program that I'm using to record these. You first have to activate the channel that you're recording on, and I forgot to do that, so I did a pretty weird recording, and I'm happy actually that I lost it, because I wasn't really happy about it, but I also felt a bit too lazy to do it again. So here we are. I don't know about this one either, but I'm still too lazy to do it again. So if everything goes well, I'll just use this one. And I don't know. You don't really need a super interesting voiceover during a game like this. Why am I gonna tell you what you need? I don't know. Maybe you do want that. I'm sorry if you do. Maybe try to. Maybe we could do a voiceover together. I don't know. Forget about it. I'm not gonna do that. Alright, over here I am building a tram bridge because I want the tram lines. I want a tram line on this side of the canal, which would be the more right side, and I also want to do one on the left side. And those tram lines will just slowly go to the edge of the map. Here I had a fire which actually extinguished itself before I could call the fire brigade, so that was pretty weird. Yeah, so I want 2 tram lines, and then I'm just gonna use those to connect some industrial areas, I think. I'm not sure yet exactly what I'll build, but I think it makes sense to have some industries next to the canal, because I looked at Göteborg in Sweden on Google Maps, and I just tried to study, because that's a pretty big harbor city, and why would I pick that harbor city? It's because I've been there. When I was a kid, we used to go to Sweden a lot, and I don't know, I think it's kind of nice to put a little bit of your own history in a build or in a city like this. Just mix some of your own experiences in, and it's a very I don't know, I think it's a pretty nice city to look at. It has some pretty classical architecture stuff, and it has a tram line as well. I don't know, you can Google it and see for yourself if you like it or not. Here I'm trying to build this bridge that goes over the water, and hey, they have one. So now I just have to figure out how to build it. So these bridges aren't really made for these wide canals, so I'm gonna be doing what I've been doing and just build multiples. And at first I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could just do 3? But yeah, this bend over there was a bit too tight. It apparently the elevated rail can't do a sharp bend where the trams can, and I think that's just, yeah, they can only do a cross in a sharp and the cross wouldn't connect both directions. So what I could have done here is just scooched over the straight bed at the top to the left a bit and went with that, but for some reason I didn't think of that, so I ended up derping around for a bit, and then in the end I just decided to do a double bridge instead of a triple over the canal. So well, I kind of spoiled the result now. I don't know, I tend to like spoil the result a bit at the start of the video anyways, because I do these I guess it's a bit of a teaser shot which shows a big area of the city, so you can see because it doesn't show it at the end, it starts at the start of the city, so it goes back in time like a month or so, and then it's just every episode I made a screenshot of the exact same spot, and I just stitch those together. It's not really stitch. What would you call that? I guess you could call that I don't know. Okay, I don't know what you'd call it, but I guess you could call it edit. I just edit those together in a fluent manner, and then of course I do some effects on it to get the text and whatnot. And yeah, so I use those screenshots at the start to be like a bit of a teaser. If you really watch them closely, you can already tell what I'm gonna build. But I'm doing those for two reasons. For one, because it's an easy intro. It's not really that easy. It's a structural intro, so I don't really have to think about the intro shot of the video too much. And it also adds a bit of history to the start of the video. For those of you who would notice it, they can like look back in time a bit. So maybe you've been watching this for a long time at some point. I don't know how long this series is gonna be. This is more of a sub-series because I'm only doing it for this Nova Scotia city. But then you can look back in time a bit and see where we all came from. I might do some of those canal add-on mod waterways around here. I'm not sure. I don't think you can cross like these viaducts and stuff like that with them. So I might. I don't know. I don't really like that, but I'm gonna. I think what I'm gonna do around here is do a bunch of those. They are like the double dams where you step up a height. Why can't I? It's not double dams, it's like those sluices. Canal locks. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do like 2 canal locks here. And it's in this general area, it's gonna split up the canal a bit into 2 streams. And then later on they will join back in. I haven't built that yet, so it might not work out, but that's what I plan to do. And then I'm probably gonna lower the bottom of that valley a bunch more. I already did a bunch of lowering over there at the start of the city, but yeah, I'm probably gonna lower it a bit more in order to make it not look too weird with the canals. I don't know. I think this canal build is pretty cool, and I do think I didn't anticipate how big the harbors were gonna be, so I'm gonna have to do some more planning. I think I'm gonna use the island. I don't know if you know about the island, but there's like an island full of trees. I think I was thinking a couple of things because I've downloaded a modular nuclear power plant pack, and I was thinking maybe just do that because those pieces are super huge. So maybe just do that on the island. But now that I've noticed how big the harbors are, I'm at least gonna do some harbor stuff around there. I'm probably gonna terraform it a bunch. Maybe I'll keep like a bit of the island as a natural reserve. Yeah, natural reserve. In order to like, maybe there's like birds there that are nesting or whatnot, and just to keep a bit of the old aesthetic. Yeah, and here I placed a police station, and for some reason, is it because I'm in the crime view that these are bugging out? I bet it's the crime view. Because yeah, you'll see me over here. I'm gonna be trying all kinds of things to fix it. Yeah, they're all bugged. I think it's the crime view. And I could have noticed it by the blue line that's jumping across the screen there. I end up fixing it by saving the game. And I think what saving the game does is it just resets your view, the views that you have. So here I'm rebuilding them and I'm still in the crime view. Oh my god, it's just a crime view, isn't it? Okay, if you ever experience something like that, just check if your views are the way you expect them to be. I didn't know that could be such a thing. I even tried the underwater, yeah, the water fix which you use for the ground textures there. And now, yeah, now I saved. I thought the saving fixed it. Okay, here's just a bit of a relaxed shot of the city. I think it's sped up a bit, I'm not sure. It's a pretty busy street now. So that street is pretty freaking busy, and it's because of a lot of the civilians in the city are still going to the neighboring city to work. And I'm not sure how to fix that. I think that city was pretty balanced in terms of workers, and yeah, so I'm gonna try to fix that. Anyways, this is me just trying to show some pretty nice buildings in the city, and then the night ended and all the lights started to go off, and I just started to zoom out. Next build, I think I'll be doing a pretty insane big build. Yeah, I will be doing an insane big build next build. I'm gonna be saving some money in between to afford it, but stay tuned for that one. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video. Comments are always nice. Have a good one. Bye.